Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Roan. We're being warned of an unprecedented spy threat against Australia. The ASIO boss says more Australians are being targeted for espionage and foreign interference now than at any other time in history. Mike Burgess says ASIO is busier now than they were during the Cold War and 9/11.
Australia is facing an unprecedented challenge from espionage and foreign interference. And I'm not convinced, as a nation, we fully appreciate the damage it inflicts on Australia's security, democracy, sovereignty, economy and social fabric.
The Russian president has announced the suspension of a nuclear treaty with the US. Vladimir Putin has delivered his annual address to his country's military leaders, also blaming the West for the invasion of Ukraine. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg says the suspension is alarming.
More nuclear weapons and less arms control makes the world more dangerous. And that's the reason why in NATO we have worked so hard to engage Russia on issues related to arms control.
It comes as the US president meets with his Polish counterpart in Warsaw, insisting the US's support for NATO will never waver. Joe Biden says Russia will never win the war in Ukraine.
I would argue NATO is stronger than it's ever been. As I told President Zelensky when we spoke in Kyiv yesterday, I can proudly say that our support for Ukraine remains unwavering.
Wild storms have brought a month's worth of rain to some parts of Sydney overnight. Major roads became rivers across the city. Lachlan Wykes from the SES says they've been dealing with scores of calls for help.
We've been tasked to a number of flood rescue jobs. They're mostly related to persons trapped in vehicles that have driven into floodwater.
And a baby girl born in the rubble of the earthquakes in Turkey has been adopted by her aunt and uncle. She was found 10 hours after the earthquakes 2 weeks ago, still attached to her dead mother. People from around the world had reached out offering to adopt her. Her family says it's important she stays with them. Her mother, father and 4 siblings were all killed in the earthquakes earlier this month. To sport now, injured fast bowler Josh Hazlewood has defended the Aussie Test side, insisting they're not playing that badly. The Aussies are 2 down in the 4-match series against India. Hazlewood says it's not all bad though.
I think there's a few more positives out of the second game than the first game actually. I think we moved the pressure into their camp for a fair bit of that game and then obviously let it slip on the morning of day 3. Keep pushing that card for longer next game and see where we end up.
And the Matildas are in Newcastle tonight as they take on Jamaica in the Cup of Nations. In entertainment news, Rhianna has stepped out with friends and family to celebrate her 35th birthday, the singer hitting up her favourite Italian restaurant in LA. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you later on for another episode of The Update.